Welcome to the second day of notes on rhombuses, rectangles, and squares. So here's that chart. Again, it's got each shape, all right, and then all of their properties. Again, the properties in yellow are any parallelogram has these properties, and then down at the bottom you can see the special properties that both rectangles and rhombuses have, and then remember squares have all of those properties because a square is a rhombus and a rectangle combined. So when you're solving these problems, two things I want you guys to ask yourself to help you. Okay, number one is which shape or what shape are we working with? All right, and they'll tell you in the problem. So what shape is it? All right, that tells you which column to look through. All right, and then what piece of that shape? All right, is it a side? Is it an angle? Is it a diagonal? And that'll help you figure out which property you're going to use. So ask yourself those two things when you're doing these problems. Let's get right to it. Okay, EFGH is a rectangle. Okay, find Y. Well, Y is right here. All right, it's an angle. So, and we know that all of the angles in a rectangle equal 90 degrees. So that's what property we're going to use. So we're just going to say, hey, 7Y plus 6 equals 90. We're going to just then solve for x. Subtract 6. We're going to get 7y equals 84. We're going to divide by 7. So we're going to get y equals 12. And you're done. You can see it's just a matter of remembering those properties. And again, you have that sheet, refer to it. Okay, find a QRST is a square. Find x. Well, those are sides. We know that they're congruent or equal. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to set them equal to each other. X plus 27 equals 13 minus 6x. I'm going to add 6x to each side, get all the x's on one side. So I'm going to get 7x plus 27 equals 13. I'm going to subtract that 27 from each side, subtract that 27. I'm going to get 7x equals negative 14. Then I'm going to divide each side by 7. So x is going to equal negative 2. There's that problem. Let's take a look at a couple more. Okay, this one, it says LMNP is a rectangle. So first let's draw a rectangle here. All right, now you guys won't be able to draw as good as I can, but there it is. All right, and then we're going to label this thing. And it doesn't matter which corner, just pick one and then you got to work in order. So L, M, N, P. Okay, so then we're going to draw those diagonals. And it says that Ln is 5x minus 8. So this whole thing is 5x minus 8 from here to here. All right, that's Ln. And then the MP is going to be 2x plus 1. That whole distance, MP is 2x plus 1. Well, we're working with a rectangle and diagonals. We know that their diagonals are equal. So then you just set it equal to and go. So 5x minus 8 equals 2x plus 1. Subtract the 2x, subtract the 2x. You guys are pretty good at solving equations. So 3x minus 8 equals 1. Add 8, 3x equals 9. Divide each side by 3. So x equals 3. That's all I've got to do there. All right, now find the value of x and then find the value of each diagonal. Well, then we're going to plug that x into either one of these equations because we know that they're going to be the same. So I'll plug it into NP. So it's 2 times, we said x is 3, and then it's plus 1. So it's, again, always really important to answer the question. So 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 plus 1 is 7. So each diagonal is going to be 7, 7 and 7. So because they are going to be the same. Okay, last two. Find x, y, z in the parallelogram. Now it tells us it's a parallelogram, but if these two sides are the same, and we know that opposite sides are the same, this is actually not just a parallelogram, but it's a rhombus. But then we also know that if that's a 90, all of these are 90. So it is actually a square. So now we're going to use that to find x, y, and z. So where is x? X is right here. It's part of an angle. Well, we know in a square that the diagonals bisect that angle. So that 5x equals 45 because that's half of 90. So then I just divide by 5, so x equals 9. That's how I find x. Now, y. Y is right here. It's an angle formed by the diagonals. Well, we know that the diagonals are perpendicular, form 90-degree angles. So now let's figure out what y is. So when we do that, we're going to get 5y minus 4 equals 90. Okay, we're going to add 4, so 5y equals 90. And then you guys know, hey, let's divide by 5, 90 plus 4 is actually, this is going to be 94, and we're dividing each side by 5. And then you guys have calculators, y is going to be a decimal or simplify that fraction. And then z, well, how do I find z? Well, again, z just like x, it's this angle right here. So we know that 10z equals 45. Just divide each side by 10. So z is going to equal 4.5. So decimals are okay. That's how you find x, y, and z. Again, which shape, which piece. And then finally this one, find x and the following. All right. So first thing we're going to do is find x. Where is x? Well, you can see right here. All right. We've got x's here and here. How does that help us? Well, if we notice that this is a rhombus, so we know that this is a 90. So to find x, I need to add all those angles up and add it because we know they're all going to add up to 180. So I'm going to say 12x. I'll do this down here. 12x minus 3 plus 3x plus 8 plus 90 equals 180. All those angles, it's a triangle, has to add up to 180. So we're going to get 15x from here and here, and then the minus 3 plus 8, all right, that's plus 5, all right? And then obviously I'm going to, plus 5, and then I got the plus 90, so that's actually, plus 95 equals 180. I'm going to subtract the 95 from each side. So I'm going to get 15x equals 85. Okay, I'm going to divide each side by 15. And I'm going to get x equals, that is going to be, 4, it's going to be 5.667. All right, 5 2/3. Decimals are okay. All right, so plug that in. Okay, so now that's what x is. Now we can use that to find all this other information. So YL, well, that's a diagonal. We know that diagonals bisect. That's 5. This is also 5, so YL is just 10. Okay, ST. Where is ST? Well, ST is this piece right here. Remember, this is 90, and this is a rhombus, so this is 13. I've got a right triangle here where I know 2 of the sides. So to find ST, I'll call that B. A right triangle where we know 2 of the 3 sides, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to say 5 squared plus b squared equals 13 squared. So it's going to be 25 plus b squared equals 169. We're going to subtract 25, so b squared equals 144. So we know that the square root of that ST is then going to be 12. Now to find SYT, let's see where that is. Angle SYT. SYT, it's this angle right here. It's going to be the same as this angle because they're alternate interior. All right, so how are we going to find SYT? Well, I'm going to plug x, our value that we found for x, into that expression. So it is 3 times x, which we said was 5.667. And then we're going to add that to 8. So 3 times 5.667, that's actually going to be 17 plus 8. So angle SYT is 25 degrees. So there is our second day of notes on rhombuses, rectangles, and squares. Use the chart and ask yourself, what shape am I working with and which piece am I trying to solve?